In this video, you will get a closer look at the Buick Century 5th generation. An overview, its origin, price range, and more, so stay tuned. What's going on? This is the Classics Dude again. The 5th generation of the Buick Century model range was built to succeed the earlier 4th generation, and it was succeeded by the 6th generation Buick Century. Production of this generation of models started in 1982 and continued to 1996. It retained a few features from the models in the previous generation, such as body style, class, and layouts. They were mid-sized cars, derived from the 4th and 3rd generation of the model series, as the 1st and 2nd generations were full-sized cars. This 5th generation of Buick Century cars got facelifts 3 times. First in 1985, then in 1988, and finally in 1991, with little changes to the exterior of the cars. One outstanding feature with which you can distinguish a 5th generation Century is their full-width taillights. The models that were produced from 1982 to 1990 ran on a 2,662mm 104.8-inch wheelbase, while the 1991 to 1996 models ran on a 2,664mm 104.9-inch wheelbase. Stay with me till the end as we explore this super classic ride. Through the generations of the Buick Century, the size of the cars was being reduced, and this was the same situation with the 5th generation. When they were introduced in 1982, they were a transverse front engine, front-wheel drive, with an A-body platform, and they were smaller than the earlier 4th generation model. Only 2 body styles were available in the 1982 versions, which were a 2-door coupe and a 4-door sedan. Buick built a station wagon to the Century line on October 1983 as a replacement for the Regal wagon that the company stopped producing. The 4-door station wagon was then launched in the following year. In 1986, the models introduced by the company came with an all-new look, especially in the interiors with a more angular dashboard. This was also the period when the company released performance automobiles for some of its model lines under the T-type name, including the Buick Century Coupe. Between 1985 and 1986, Hess and Eisenhower converted 124 complete Buick Century Coupes into convertibles without factory authorization. However, they were still sold at the Buick Company dealerships. Models built in Venezuela were sold under the name Chevrolet Century in the Caribbean and in South America. The Century line got a facelift in the later parts of 1988 to have a roofline that was more rounded, but retained its A-body platform before it was launched in 1989. Its rear quarter windows were also replaced with the Buick Tri-Shield emblem. A new facelift came on the 1991 model, which featured different headlamps, a bigger radiator, and slight changes to the interior, which included an airbag for the driver's seat. Some of the engine choices which were featured in the 5th generation Buick Century include the 2.2-liter LN2 i4, 2.5-liter Tech 4 i4, 2.8-liter LE2 LB6 V6, among others. The 5th generation models also featured a GM TH125C 3-speed automatic and 2 different 4-speed automatic transmissions, a GM 440T4 and GM 4T60E. Unfortunately, this classic didn't see much of it come to life, as only 124 units of convertibles, which were originally coupes, were produced in 1985 and 1986. Also, 603 units of the coupe were sold in 1993, which in my honest opinion was quite a low sale. Much has been said about this generation of the Buick Century model of cars, so there's no need to say more. Now, we want to look at how much these cars were sold for. Although the actual price at production is unknown, recent online sales and auctions place this car at a minimum of $5,800, with its value going as high as $7,150. That's all for today, guys. I'm sure you loved this video, so hit that like button. Stay tuned for more classic car videos.